Okay, so this is just showing the packing, how to use pack and go and what can happen if you don't use it. Let's realize that I've got to go and I've got a bunch of files, and one of the biggest challenges that you run into with assemblies and drawings is, first off, keeping them all in one place, and you end up with multiple versions of the same file name. You don't know which one's the latest one. And if you start trying to open the thing with the wrong part or something like that, if you send me your assembly or your drawing file and don't include the parts with what you send me, there's not going to be anything there. And so, for example, if I and it depends on how the things go here. So I've got this assembly here. I know the text is a little bit small to see, and it's got these parts in it. And in my project here in the assembly, I also have an assembly drawing and a part drawing for one of those. And to send this whole project to somebody where they have the drawings, the assembly, and all the parts, can be a little tricky if some of them were put in different folders and things like that. If I move any one of these to a different folder, or even rename them, then things change. Like maybe I'll rename, just go here, for example, and rename this part. You know, I can move it or rename it. It's the same kind of thing's going to happen. But if I just rename it here with File Explorer and change the name to X body. Okay, and then I try to open up the drawing. Now it should look in there and try to find something similar, but this is what happens. First, I get an error message that says it can't find the part. You want to browse for the file and look for it? I can do that, and I can go look for it, or I can suppress the component. This is what happens if I suppress a component. This is the same thing that happened if you'd saved that part as a PRT dot instead of a part file. So, and with a bunch of empty views, so there's nothing there. Now I can go back and I can put in a new part or substitute a new part in there. That process when it gave me that error message, but that's going to create its own cascading errors, set of errors. Now, likewise, I go into try to open up the assembly. What's going to happen? Same thing here. Now I can suppress the component. Also, all the mates will go away and blow up, even if it's the identical part. There's things going to happen. I can browse and look for the part, or I just end up with assembly minus that part. Where you have them, there's a whole search hierarchy that goes through, SolidWorks goes through to look for the parts. But even if you have a part with the same name, but it's a different part, you'll cause problems. So you don't want to be moving parts around relative to each other. You don't want to be changing their names relative to each other or anything else. So now let me go back and I'm going to go back, close this one here, and go back and rename that part. So you're managing where all your files are is crucial here. So this thing I called it X body. I'm going to just change its name back to body. And now everything should be happy. Now, would it be happen if I actually put a different part in there for the body, or rename it some other way? How about if I go here and I'm going to open up the body, and I don't have the assembly or the drawing open right now at this point, and I do a file and a save as. Now I don't know. I wasn't getting the error messages I should have got the other day. But when you have it open in an assembly or a drawing, it should give you an error message when you're trying to do this. But say I save this with a different name here. I'll just call it body. Y. Now this hasn't, my template still, my part still, my drawing or anything I've used that still thinks that the other version is in there. But now I continue working on this. I'm just happy as a pig. And you know what? I'm working on my part, and I've got a different name part, and then I go back and open my assembly, and it doesn't know what happened or where my old part is. So I open up my assembly now. It doesn't know that this part's been changed. I can see over here. It's still looking for the one called body. If I open the drawing, it still is looking at the thing called drawing, or the thing called body. It hasn't been modified. And so how do I deal with it if I want to, if I do want to change or rename these? Now my computer was kind of not doing this the correct way the other day. I'm probably put my foot in my mouth as I'm saying this, but the way to change the name of these as you're working on this is why it's best to, when you're doing something like this, is do like I've tried to have you do in milestone 5, was go ahead and create the assembly with all the parts in it, whether you've done anything on them or not, whether they were empty parts or not. And then you could always just start out by opening the assembly and then working on the individual parts from this level. And so what it should allow you to do then is, and again, I was getting some errors yesterday of doing this and I haven't resolved that question yet. But if you open a part from the assembly like this, so this part has been opened from the assembly. The other one that I had open that was now a different name. If I do a file and save as here, it should give me a message that tells me about what it's going to do with that. And if it doesn't, I'm going to stop and not go too much detail of that right here. It should have given me a message here about changing the name of this part, and the fact that it's going to modify where what it's called out, or change its place, and it would give me an option to do a save copy as instead of just doing a straight save. Now I'll have to come back and cover this, but just trying to show some of the problems you can run into here. So maybe I save this one as body dash X. And now I have 3 different versions of what looks like to be exactly the same part, body X and the other ones. If I close this guy now, which one's in the assembly? Well, now you see the assembly knows that I changed it to body X. What's going to happen though with my drawing? Now remember, I did have my drawing open here, and I'm going to go ahead and do a rebuild on this. And let's see what's happening. What part is in here in the drawing views? And notice it updated them as well. And the reason it did that is both the drawing and both the assembly and the drawing that had those parts in it were open at the same time when I saved it with the new names. So that's the way you want to rename parts, is open it from the assembly or from the drawing and save it if that's what you like to do. Now you can substitute parts back in here by going in and doing a replace part. And this works even if something's missing and it's somewhere down here. And I'd always have trouble finding this, but see if we can do a replace. On the assembly, it's replace. Let's see, replace model. And so for a replace model, you can replace the model that's used in the views. So if I wanted to put all of my modifications in a different version of the part, that would be I could save it as a completely new name, but then that's going to create a whole different set of issues here. So for example, I'm going to replace the parent drawing views and then add the new file reference. So I'll just do that as my parent drawing view, and then browse and find my other ones. And let's see if I can put the other one back in here, the original one that I called body. Now these things are all identical. I think all of these have that same view. Okay, the selected view, it's a drive view. Okay, so that is the view that I'm supposed to use. So this was my view that everything else kind of came from. And if I say okay here, I've now got different parts in the different views, because the body X is in this view here, which is my isometric view, which I didn't do as a derived view from the basic view. But now you see these dimensions here start changing colors because they're no longer referencing anything that's in that view. So I still have to go back and go to this view and replace the part in that view. And yeah, you can just create a cascade of errors. If we go to the assembly, we can create the same problems. So anyways, how do I make my a pack and go file with this? We'll take our chances right now. First off, let me go back to this, and I'm going to close this guy. Without saving it. I'm going to do the same thing with the drawing so that I don't have those changes. Another way you can do what I'm doing right now is you click on File and do a reload, and it will reload the version of the file that was there when you opened it up. But now with this, if I open up the assembly, so again, as you're doing these, you should have both the assembly and the drawings open when you're trying to do the pack and go. So I'm going to open this guy up, and hopefully it has the original body part in there. And the drawing file, I'm going to open up that. And so from either one of these places, the assembly is probably the best place to work from. What I'm trying to do is get SolidWorks to take care of this for me and make a file, a place where all these files are in one place, so that I can either send them to somebody else or back them up or whatever the case may be. So that's where pack and go comes into play. And this is the primary tool, or historically, that's been the tool to use for doing this. And when you start out pack and go, it's got some options here. Include drawings means it's going to go out and find the drawings that are associated to the model. If we look at the help file here, it gives you a little bit more detail on this. Again, there's tutorials on my SolidWorks.com videos about that. I've posted a tutorial I put together as well, but understanding what it's doing. Okay. In Windows Explorer, SolidWorks Task Pane File Explorer, you can right-click a document and do pack and go as well. We're doing it right from SolidWorks. So, and again, the listing here, select or replace, updating things, including drawings. It says add associated drawings and model folders in the search, or you specify from file locations. And it's important that they're somewhere underneath that in that same folder tree. If you've done simulations, we're not going to worry about it. If you've done toolbox components, so if you're doing things with toolbox, you've got to click that one. We're not doing any decals or any of those things. You might do that with your own project or something. And then you can do nested or flat if you're going to do a folder structure, or you can put them all, flatten them all into a single folder, or just put them all into a single zip file with nothing like that. So in this case, what we're going to do is a zip file, and this is a great way to back this up. Give you a snapshot in time, kind of frozen in time of whatever status it's in. So, for example, Thursday night when you want to submit your segment A, you can create that pack and go file, and then you can make changes to your heart's content with the stuff for segment B. And if somewhere you realize, boy, I want to go back to where I started, you can always go back and pull the files out of the zip file, and you have it where it was beforehand. So this essentially, with different tools that go along with it, help files are a place to give you a start. So we want to have the drawings. If we had toolbox components, we want to have that one checked. It doesn't hurt to include a bunch of these other things, appearances and scenes if you've done renderings. I haven't done any simulations, but no harm done if you've checked them. And you can drag this out and make it look a little bit bigger. And there's a couple key points here that you want to make sure you do when you use this. Do not, notice there that it has a toothpaste roller. Drawing is not open here. It looks like it's still going to find it though, hopefully. And we're going to take a look at that zip file once it creates it and see what it's got in it. So it should have the parts. It should have the drawings, because this one's, I have the body drawing open. If I didn't have the body drawing open, it probably would find it. Can't swear to you that one, but it should. And then down here, and rather than saving it to a folder, I'm just going to save it to a zip file. and I'm going to browse. And the key thing you want to do here is not save it directly to your USB. It will rename your USB to something like pack #001 or something like that. So if you've got a USB that already says that, that's what you did. What you want to do if you're just going to send it to somebody is save it up to your desktop or something like that. Or in this case, I'm in the folder where was working on it, and let me go back, and I'll go back to my project folder here where I've got it, the rest of it saved. So I can go ahead and save it in the same folder where I've done the rest of the work, because it's just going to be a zip file kind of stuck in there, and I'm going to put the date on the name of it, and and I could just make a folder called backups or something, but I'm just going to call this, and I'll call it toothpaste roller, and put today's date on time. So this is 12-15-20, and that's kind of a snapshot in time. I could even put in time like 8:45 p.m. or whatever. I can't put in a semicolon on the name, I don't believe, so I'll just say 8 p.m. and save it. And now I've got to hit the prefix suffix. I'm not going to do anything else like that. I think you could do the flatten things here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do a save now finally to do that, and it'll put this together. So now it doesn't change anything I've got open. I go now and look at my folder where I've got this guy here. There's a zip file in there. Go to date modified. It should be the most recent thing I created. There's the zip file I just created. Now, if I double click on this thing and open it up, there are the essential files that I've got in there. I've got the roller drawing, the body drawing, the assembly, and all the parts that go along with it. So now if I send anybody this zip file, they would be able to open this up and be able to work on it, work on any of that as to their heart's content. And if you didn't have all those files, you could, if you sent just the drawing files or just the assembly files without the part files, it'd be worthless. You wouldn't have anything to work from. So the other benefit of doing this is, and it's something you can do kind of regularly when you're working on projects and things like this, rather than renaming the parts each time you make a change or something like that, just do a backup, every afternoon or every evening or something, or every time you've got something major accomplished on it. And this just backs up every file related in thing, and you can always go back to the zip file and pull out the older versions of it. It also compresses them so they don't take up as much space. But so on Thursday night, you're going to want to make a segment A zip file that has everything as it was before you start working on the segment B things, and then you don't have to rename the parts and create a bunch of grief for yourselves and updating your assemblies or your drawings along with it. And you always got a fallback on it that you can always go back and change it. So anyways, try that out. If you're not comfortable with it, you get comfortable with it. You're going to need to use that for the exam to make sure that you get the parts into me. And other than that, I'm going to leave it up to you. You got any more questions or anything, ask me now or dial in tomorrow in the meeting, and I will answer them then. Likewise, if you need help with the project or any of the other work or the portfolio, anything else, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and ask me. You can ask me tomorrow afternoon, ask me now. Again, tomorrow I'm going to do it with a Zoom meeting. So anyways, that's it.